Couple of hours today, leading you into Monday Night Football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4-4, trying to slow down the runaway undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, 7-0. There's a lot to talk about today. I promised both Tony and Scraby that we will not talk about Scraby and I's fantasy football game this weekend. It is not my style to pile on. It is Scraby's style, but it is not my style to pile on.
He definitely was projecting earlier because, as you said, it is his style. So
Yes.
he assumed.
Had he beaten me by 82 points, it would have been a little difficult for me when I arrived today. But
I love how you nestled that in there.
Yes,
right
I
there.
nestled that in there.
Is that
today.
actually how many points I'm losing by?
That is the
82?
margin. That is the margin as we head into Monday
it's
night.
just as tough to be the guy who has everybody score on you every single week. 2 out of the last 3
well,
weeks.
you're the your team name says the champ is here,
You're right.
so you are a marked man, evidently.
That's
You
fine.
know,
You
put the target squarely on your own back.
if I make the playoffs, I have a good team, so I'm good.
Yes, you do. But this week belonged to me.
Yes,
I'm
it
not
did.
going to talk too much about the Dolphins. A 61-yard field goal. Are you kidding me?
It's one of those years.
It is definitely one of those years. Honestly, I would rather it happen in a year like this than a year when they're actually contending and then somebody. But you know what? I hate to say, Tony, I think 61-yard field goals to win games are going to be more and more commonplace.
Yeah.
These kickers are just, they're incredible. You get inside the 45-yard line and you're in position, and these guys are making them. So it's not just, yesterday. I mean, a lot of these 60-yard kicks have been going through.
That was the point Bryant McFadden was making when we spoke to him.
That's right.
That, you get
You're in scoring position as soon as you get the ball. Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't have been surprised.
It's funny because, remember, there's a lot of, grumbling about the NFL changing the extra point rule. And what it seemingly has done has forced kickers to get better.
Yeah.
And they have answered the call.
No, they're unbelievable. I think they're going to, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not saying this because of the kick yesterday, just in general, field goals seem so easy now. These guys are making 80% of 50-yard kicks. That's not the way it was intended. And I have a feeling that they're going to bring the goalposts closer together.
They're going to make them skinnier.
A little skinnier. That's the only thing I really think they could do. They can't move them back. There's nowhere to move them any further away. So, and you know what? These guys will still make them because 90% of the kicks go right down the middle anyway. Great kicking in the NFL, and it won that game for Buffalo. We have taken so much, we being the Dolphins, have taken just nothing but hell from Buffalo now for about 10 years. So it was just another pile it on. And I also should mention that Tony's upset pick won again, and you're turning our weekly contest into a complete runaway. He picked Carolina to beat the Saints, and they did. He added to his lead. I was curious, Scraby, did that result, as we discussed at the end of last week, did that eliminate anybody from the survivor pool?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because I thought the Saints would be kind of a popular pick this week, being as they were playing Carolina, and I figured a lot of people hadn't used the Saints yet. But not only did the Saints lose, but their coach lost his job.
I was about to say that loss had some ripple effects.
Yeah, they fired Dennis Allen today, so he's out. And the Saints...
it's totally his fault, though. A defensive coach getting fired for bad offense and backup quarterbacks.
It was bad offense. I don't know. When you got 4th and 2...
No, everybody survived.
Everybody survived the pool?
2 picked the Vikings, and then Bengals, Eagles, Commanders.
Wow. So all 5 of our contestants live for another week. Incredible. Good job by all of you people out there. I thought the Saints, I'd only watch a little of it on the red zone, but they had 4th and about 2 to keep their game alive, and they throw a deep fade pattern. You know how I love the fade pattern to begin with.
What's your favorite?
You throw one 40 yards downfield on 4th and 3, and, of course, it was broken up. That was ball game. Panthers win. Here's what I do want to talk about, though, guys. We'll get into the football. There's a little Padre news to get to as well. Hassan Kim is officially a free agent, and a few other little things to discuss. But I'd really rather talk about my fight with the garage door opener today, because that's
Can I set this up before?
that's what has me in a mood. And I don't know about anybody else out there, but if you've ever fought with your garage door opener and lost, then you know what I'm talking about.
Chris walked into the door today and ran into Scraby's fantasy football energy.
Yeah.
But Chris wasn't on fantasy football energy time. He was on I've been fighting with my garage time.
Yeah.
Well, can we go back? Yeah.
Since he walked in, and we kind of joked around with him for about 5 to 7 minutes before.
I called him Lloyd Christmas.
Right. Before it became,
I don't even know what that means.
Before it became quickly evident that Chris was in a mood.
I've been in a mood all day.
We might have to kind of dig a little deeper, figure out what's going on. So I said, Chris, what's going on, man? How are you?
Well, here's the thing. My wife used. It was a two-pronged event. My wife went to work out this morning at about 6 o'clock. Said she'd be back about 7:15. She was going for a walk, and then she was going to go to our gym in the complex and then come back. She left the door unlocked so she could get in. In between her leaving and coming, I had to take the dog out for a quick whiz, brought the dog back in, absentmindedly locked the door. Didn't know I locked the door.
Okay.
Went upstairs, took a long hot shower because it was freezing this morning. I don't know if anybody was out and about like at 7 a.m., but it was really, really cold.
Too much information.
What, a hot shower? That's too much information? You
know
can't
where-
handle that?
Don't take the bait. Go
You
ahead.
can't handle that? So I'm in the shower. Door's locked because I locked it. Wife's outside.
Oh,
She
man.
can't get in.
And you took a long shower?
I took a long one, and she's out there. Now, normally,
She's getting more upset.
Oh, yeah. Normally, she can use the keypad at the side of the garage to get in that way if something like this were to happen.
Not today.
Not today. She went over to the keypad, started punching in the code. The keypad itself was dead. Basically, the battery had run out on the keypad.
Well, whose fault's that?
Nobody's.
Oh. Well,
Nobody's.
it has to be somebody's
All right,
fault.
it's mine just for the sake of argument. So anyway, I get out of the shower. I'm, relaxing, wondering, where is she? She said she'd be back by now. Whap, whap, whap. And so I go down and...
So, wait, can I ask you a question before
Yes.
you went down?
Mm-hmm.
The moment you got out the shower
Yeah.
and you heard the whap, whap, whap.
Oh, I knew that I
your
had
heart
locked her out.
Did your
Oh,
heart
yes.
sink?
I knew I was in... If there was any way to climb out the bedroom window and go out the back way,
Like I went here.
I probably would have done it. But I had to go down and let her in. She's like, I've been banging on the... Anyway, so I said, well, why didn't you use the keypad? The keypad is broken. That was the beginning of my troubles today. And so I went and replaced the battery in the keypad and figured all was well. But then when I typed the code in, no
Not so
good.
much.
No good. Now, people who know garage door keypads and things like that, maybe you know better than I do. I'm assuming, though, if you take the battery out to replace it, you have to re-enter the code and reconfigure it. So I tried to do that to no avail. And then I made the mistake of going actually to the garage door opening mechanism itself.
Uh-oh.
Started punching those buttons to see if I couldn't help the keypad
All
work.
bad.
In doing that, I disconnected the connection between my car and the garage door and the connection between her car and the garage door. She went to work, backed out of the garage, called me from the street. I can't close the garage door anymore. You screwed it up. She didn't say that, but that was what I felt. And I'm like, oh, no, it must have messed up while I was trying to fix it. Anyway, she went to work. I spent from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock trying to get my car reconnected to the garage door
Just
opener.
far too much time.
And I'm
being
still
spent on
not
that.
there. I'm still not there. I had no
That's-
success. I didn't do it.
That's wild.
So when I get home today, I have to pull the car up to the garage door, get out of the car, use my key, go around through the front door, go through the house, come around, push the button inside, open the garage door, go back around, get in my car, drive into the, you know what I mean. You get the idea.
I think you should
Until
just
I get it
called a
fixed, and I want to
professional.
thank the deal. I did. I called the dealership 4 times. Each time I called the dealership telling them of my issue. They said they'd be calling back in 5 minutes.
Tony,
Psych.
can you imagine?
Psych. Yes, thank you.
We won't be calling back in 5
That phone
minutes.
call has still not been made by the dealership.
Can you
so.
imagine, Tony, getting a phone call from a perplexed person being like, I need help right now. My car will not connect to the garage door. She's like fake writing down the information and she
You think she
hangs up.
just blew this off like it wasn't a big enough issue for them to deal
I
with?
don't know that it's something that they're going to drop everything for.
I didn't think they had to drop
right.
everything,
You
but
got-
I'm just saying over 4 hours I would expect somebody to get back to me. Never happened. I tried everything. I don't know why they even make a manual for the car and explain how to hook it up to the garage door. When you follow it, nothing happens.
Do you have a garage door that you can open through Wi-Fi or
What?
on an app?
Oh, God.
Because that might change
idea.
certain things. Okay, so the
I don't even
answer
know what
was
that
no.
No,
The answer was
a heavy
no.
no for that.
Did you go and you look up the actual garage door opener and type in like the model number and
Yep.
then say okay?
Yep. I typed in model number and how it connects to the car. I typed in my car model number and how it connects to the garage door.
Sometimes
I've watched at least 24 YouTube videos this morning. And of course, on the YouTube videos, all 24 garage doors open right away.
Right.
But that hasn't worked for me.
Sometimes
So.
what you've done this time in
Yeah.
between when you stopped and when you go back will allow for it to some things to kind of reset.
Self-correct
Yes.
while I'm gone.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's finally going
I
to
hope
take.
you're
because
right.
in the process of getting
Yeah,
a new
keep
battery,
trying it. Yeah, no, you're right.
there's a lot of signals being sent out. And
Everything's
maybe-
been completely disassembled. So
Danny has a good suggestion. on
Danny,
the
thank
chat.
you, Danny. What do you have?
He says, write a bad review on Yelp or Google, and I guarantee you they call you back, which is truth.
For the dealership.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a true statement right there.
I thought
That's a-
Danny was
that's a-
gonna. I
that's a
thought Danny was
commitment
gonna
right
say,
there.
take a hatchet and tear down your garage door, and then you won't have this problem anymore.
Someone said park in your driveway.
Yep, there you go. That's what I was expecting to hear from somebody out there. Anyway, that's my day. I mean, to me, I enjoyed the relaxation of the few hours before our show gets underway.
You didn't have that today.
Did
though.
not have any of that
Yeah.
today. So that's me. I'm ready to roll. We got Big Five. We got Daily Gamble. We got Good, Bad, Ugly. We got Chris versus the fans. We'll update you on the Padre latest. Gold gloves were handed out. No gold for San Diego this year. We'll explain that. And the latest, including AJ Preller and company. I don't want to say they got hoodwinked, but I don't know.
I
This
think
guy says he was 14 years old, and he was
19.
He was 19, so
Bamboozled.
by that. So we'll discuss all of that.
catfished.
I mean,
No,
nah, 'cause
I don't know. That's a
catfish-
catfish.
You're
isn't
saying
it?
that you're a
They-
14-year-old when you're a 19-year-old?
Yeah,
That's
but-
kind of catfishing.
Catfish usually, is behind some screens. Like no,
Okay.
Yeah.
it's a
All
little
right.
stronger.
All right.
All right. So we'll get into all the Padre news, the Gold Gloves, the rest of it. Get you rolling here Monday. You know what kind of mood I'm in now, and we'll take it from here until 4:30. Chris, Gwynn, Scraby, new show name. I don't know.
What is happening?
Hey guys, it's your old pal Woodsy.
Great shot. Great shot. Great shot. Perfect shot. Eagle. Great shot. Great shot. Great shot. Perfect shot. Eagle. Great shot. Great shot. Great shot.
.220 on the clock. Chris, Gwynn, Scraby, all here with you. Short show.
It's a new era of the Gwynn and Chris show.
Chris Gwynn.
It's post garage door fight
Yeah, no,
program.
the garage door fight has.
What did somebody say? We should have
Chris
instead
versus
of,
the garage
instead
door.
of Chris versus the fans today.
Yeah.
That is a fight I'll lose. I already
Yeah.
did.
If you enjoy watching Chris lose, that may be the way to go, is have him face
Yeah.
the garage door opener. Because right now, garage 1, Chris Ello, nothing.
I'd say garage door like 10, Chris Ello, nothing. I've
Well,
tried a bunch of different things.
When
so.
Tony tried to get down to what was bothering Chris had this like demeanor about him that something very serious
he
was
had
the problem.
Chris Gravy and I scared that he was about to tell us.
Do you guys understand how important it is for my life to be in complete control and
Now I
everything
do,
working?
apparently.
Last week it was the ice maker that was broken. I
Oh,
finally
don't get
got
me
that
started on this
fixed.
stupid ice maker. I got that issue right now too.
$300 and some odd later, Tony got the ice working again. It trickled out, and I'm like ecstatic. And then my wife told me how much the bill was.
Well, at least it stopped there because I have a feeling that mine is going to cost me more to get this ice. And then you start asking the question, well, do we actually need a new like refrigerator, freezer? No, we don't need that. So I'm gonna have to.
I had to go to 7-Eleven for 2 weeks and buy bags of ice on the way home.
That's what I've been doing the last.
And I was like,
3
this is
weeks.
getting really old. Can we get this thing fixed?
You could also just
It takes the inconvenience of having to go to whatever close store you have of getting ice.
$300 plus for an ice maker? Come on.
you could also just not use ice until it's fixed. I mean,
This is not Europe, my friend.
What are you talking about?
This is not Europe.
I mean,
Just
I
hot
can understand.
water, room temp. I don't want room temp.
No,
water.
no. I can understand, like, but to like have to upset your day to go get ice
Well,
is strange.
See, this is. See,
You
this,
think
wait,
so?
hold on,
Oh my good, this was a
this is-
priority for me.
That's
This is-
the part.
This is a luxury of a single person that
he
only
doesn't
has to
get it.
think of himself.
he doesn't get it.
Well, if you were going to ask me about my drinking days, there was nothing stopping me from getting a bottle of booze.
I think the booze was the priority at that point. Not
It
the
was.
ice.
So I should just be quiet because I did my own sort of things back in the day.
Nonetheless, Padres in the news today. Really in the news over the weekend. A few newsworthy items popped up. One involving former Padres shortstop at this point, Ha-Sung Kim. He declined the $7 million mutual option. He'll get the $2 million. So he'll get paid $2 million for saying no thanks. He'll become a free agent. Wandy Peralta exercised his player option. He'll be back in that bullpen.
he better
4.25.
exercise that option because if he turned down 4.25, he would have been offered 0.25 after the year he had. So
he's in the good there. So
Yeah.
a few of those things. Now the Padres were left coming in today wondering if they should offer qualifying offers for Jerickson Profar and/or Ha-Sung Kim. They declined to do either. So virtually those qualifying offers come with some compensation, basically.
right. Don't the Padres and AJ Preller normally, if they want a guy, they work a deal out, right? I mean, like for the guys that are like the Dylan Cease and the Michael Kings of the world, they don't go to arbitration as far as the Padres are concerned. The Padres deal with that before it gets to arbitration normally.
Well,
Sometimes.
it just depends.
Do you think
Michael
so?
King.
When's the last time they went to arbitration?
Well, let's explain this a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, going to arbitration is actually going through the hearing, and then the arbiter
Decides who gets what money, right?
Coming to an agreement prior to that is just for that 1 year, and is usually a midpoint, right?
Okay.
Team winning at this number, player winning at this number, they settle somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think AJ has ever actually reached arbitration, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
I don't think so.
Yes, typically they do. If it doesn't, it's not as though all of a sudden Michael King or Dylan Cease will become free agents. They'll just have to go through the arbitration hearing, and the arbiter will pick what side won, and whoever gets the money, they win. They go on about their day. Now, for both of those guys, they will be free agents after.
And that's why it's the qualifying
2025,
offer, right?
right.
Because I
Wait.
guess the qualifying offer is only made to players that are going into free agency
Now.
and it's the average of the top 125 salaries in baseball. So this year's 21 million. So they should, in my opinion, the Padres should have offered Ha-Sung Kim a qualifying offer because he's probably going to turn it down for that 1 year.
Maybe
and then
not,
you get
though.
a draft pick because they turned it
That's
down.
the dangerous game. How much did Ha-Sung Kim make last year?
$7 million.
You think a $14 million pay raise for 1 year. He just has to
21,
stick it
he
out.
might have said yes.
He might have said yes.
But I think that he can get a longer deal, probably around the
he
same
can get
amount
a
of money.
longer.
He can't get- I don't think he can get 21
a
million.
year. Come on,
That's
now.
Well,
a
if
ton.
you get a 5-year, $15 million deal, I don't know what that totals out to be, but
it's $3 million a year.
You mean
No.
5 years, 75 million?
sorry, yes.
Yeah, that's-
5 years.
That's still
5
50.
years,
I got
yes.
that math.
That's
down
still
now.
only 15 a year. That's not
But
21.
but then he has 5 years of 15 instead of 1 year of 21. What if he
Again.
gets hurt again next year?
That's not, come
Hassan
on.
Kim's not worth $21 million. Come on, he hit 233 last
But
year.
what I'm saying is, you offer him the qualifying contract, he declines it.
But if he
and then you
doesn't,
get,
though?
well, then you pay him $21 million, and
I don't think they want to.
I don't think that.
I don't think they
that's
want to
not
even
money
think about that
spent
happening.
well, Jerkson Profar was not offered one either, which
He wasn't.
I understand.
He wasn't offered one, and it kind of gives you some insight into maybe what his value will be. $21 million. Clearly, the Padres, who are willing to do the one year, $1 million deal last year,
Yes.
we're
I
not.
can't
So
imagine
good
why they
of
were
them,
willing to
too.
do that.
We're not willing to do the
They're not
1
going to
year.
be 1 year 21.
21,
I don't think
so-
they think Profar's worth 21. I don't think anyone does except maybe Profar.
Maybe.
And if he would have carried it out the whole season, then I think he could have commanded it, but he didn't. Fell off a lot. I mean, I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I want him back, but you got to spend wisely if you're the Padres. I mean, this is the way the game goes. You can't just willy-nilly take who you want.
Yeah.
You may not have enough left for what you need.
I think that is. I mean, neither of these two should be too surprising that
Right.
they weren't offered the qualifying offer. Had they been, I think it would have been a dangerous in terms of spending the money in the way that the Padres deem smart.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a risky move.
Very.
Offer both of those guys $21 million, and let's say they both accept it. Now you got
Now you got 42 invested.
$42 million on the books in
Yeah,
two
that
guys.
wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Did you
so-
see what Michael Walker, the extension he signed today?
He got a nice one, didn't he?
3 years, $51 million extension.
Good for him, but I don't know that he's worth 17.
That's what I'm saying. That's like a starting pitcher. If you are in the rotation, that's what you're going to get at the bottom level, most likely.
He's not at the bottom level, though.
He's not bottom.
I think 17 is, given where the Royals were and where they got to with the likes of him and Seth Lugo really kind of leading the way, I think they're willing to pay for that. I think it's not all just about the production, although Michael had another good season, another healthy season. In that locker room and that team, those two guys in particular were vital for them to get to the postseason, along with the young Bobby Witt Jr.
Well, but I also don't think you can organize your pay structure for your franchise based on what somebody else is doing either.
No,
You have to
Absolutely
do what's
not.
best for you.
absolutely not.
And, I think $21 million for either Hassan or Jerkson, way too risky to put that out there. Hassan, I think, would have taken it in a heartbeat.
You really think so?
I think he would have too.
$21 million for a
I don't think it's-
233 average?
I don't think it's really close
Come
either.
on.
But I
Come
know.
on.
It
Come
just
on.
seems to me, knowing that you have a multi-year deal ahead of you,
You don't. Here's the thing: you can't guarantee that.
you can't.
And let's say it's not for 5 years. Let's say it's for 2. Let's say it's for 3.
Is he a Boris guy?
I don't think so.
Okay, well that would change a lot actually if he was a Boris guy.
Why would that change a lot?
Because this is a scrappy answer. I didn't really want to go into it too much, but
Uh-oh.
because I feel like baseball's tired of working with Scott Boris, and they're willing to.
That's outside noise. These agents and
No, he's
baseball-
ISE baseball. whatever
these
that is.
baseball head of baseball operation guys, they want talent, and it's seemingly all the time Scott Boras has a ton of it in his stable. So they're gonna keep dealing with him. I guarantee you that.
A couple of notables out there. Do you see these guys? Sean Manaea, easy decision for him to decline a $13.5 million option.
Without question.
Cody Bellinger declined his early termination, according to reports, so he'll be staying with the Cubs.
So
And-
he opted in.
I guess so, yes. I'm just reading the exact language.
I was like,
Yeah,
Garrett
just read
Cole.
the exact language, and that way you can't go wrong.
Garrett Cole actually is going to be back with the Yankees, but he didn't because he opted out, right? And
you
then
gotta
the
explain
Yankees
the deal. So
Yeah.
if his contract was structured in a way that if he opted out of this portion of the deal, which he did initially, the Yankees then had the option to keep him, but they'd have to add another year on the backside of the original deal. As it turns out, he opted out, and then they must have torn up that agreement because he's back on the 4 years remaining without the extra year added. So my guess is Scott, who's Cole represented by? Is he a Boris guy?
Probably.
Whoever Cole's agent is, and what's my man's name for the Yankees? Cashman came to basically
He
say
is a Scott Boras
he's a
guy.
Scott. So they basically must have a verbal, like, we're gonna try to get an extension.
We need to
done.
get John Boggs on because, like, if you're Scott Boras or if you have two clients that are talking with the same team, do you just talk about them all in one day, or do you like separate those things? Like, because they have Soto and Garrett Cole,
That's
so
a
do they
good
just sit there
question.
all day?
That is a
and
good
just
question.
talk?
We should have that because I don't know. Would you feel some type of way if your agent was pitching both of you guys to the same team, or
That would be weird.
How does that work? That's a very good question.
Because his
Greg.
bread is probably buttered better with Juan Soto than it is with Garrett Cole.
Scott Boras is going to end up just fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Just real quick, because I just went ahead and looked at it because Chris brought it up. To Chris's point on Jerickson, 318. This is just batting average, and I'll give you OPS too. 917, 927, 801 in June,
Okay.
885 in July,
Yeah.
689 in August, and September and October, 818.
Got up to 818, so August was a big struggle for
Yeah,
him.
August was his toughest month.
All right.
So yeah, that's a good call. We might have to get Boggsy on one of these days to kind of talk a little bit about it. All right,
Last one, though.
go ahead.
Big one. Brewers declined Devin Williams' option. So they declined let me just read it. Declined a $10.5 million club option for 2025. So he is going to be a free agent out there. Anthony Rizzo too.
Padres aren't affording Devin Williams in a bullpen that's already stacked.
Is he a free agent?
I'm pretty sure he is.
What's the 250,000?
The buyout,
Oh, that was the buyout. Okay,
which is nothing. Anthony Rizzo also, the Yankees declined his option, so he is also a free agent. They had to pay him $6 million.
He had a $17 million club option. They said no. He was like, all right, cool. I'll take the 6.
Yeah.
to 6 to go away.
Not a bad
Man.
not bad work if you can get it.
I'll take the 6 to go away, and then I'll go get paid by someone else.
All right, let's get to break. On the other side, we've got our Big Five. Plus, wait, did you sneak this prospect age thing into the Big Five?
It's going to be in the Big Five.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll leave that alone. We'll get into some of the Padre matters on the other side in this Big Five. More Gwynn and Chris.
Gwynn and Chris.
Great shot. Perfect shot. Perfect shot. Nice on. Birdie. Great shot. Perfect shot. Perfect shot. Perfect shot. Nice on. Perfect shot. Birdie. Great shot. Perfect shot. Perfect shot.
And then the green light will blink really fast. Wait 4 seconds.
Oh,
Release the
gosh.
button.
Oh, gosh.
This is the instructions to the
Push
ground.
the button
gosh.
again. The light will turn gold. Wait another 9 seconds. Release the button again. And then push the button 14 times until it connects to the garage.
14.
Unbelievable. I'm a clown. I'm not a clown. The people that write the instructions are clowns. Because I'm following the instructions.
Are you sure you have? You know, sometimes
sure of it.
sometimes the one wrong number can change a model. Or
I get you.
something.
I get you, but I'm
I-
following the
It
instructions
says 14
directly
seconds.
out of the book.
That probably means 15. Because that probably means 20. Because that's how long I'm holding on to that bad boy.
Ah, man, I can't deal with it. 2:39 is the time. Garage door continues to extend its lead over me as we return to Gwynn and Chris, Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., and Matt Scraby.
Don't let it pull away.
Well, if I don't get it fixed by tomorrow, it's going to be a long 24 hours.
At what point do you call someone out? If you
Oh,
can-
actually call somebody and pay somebody?
At what point?
They're gonna be like,
does-
"This is the
at
easiest
what-
$100 I've ever made."
At what point does you getting your head whooped every night
Yeah.
say, you know what, it's not worth it. It's time for me to pay someone.
I
to
don't
come
believe
out.
there's any point my wife will agree to that.
So it's either you or nothing.
It's either because, well, look, the little clicker thing that comes with the garage, that works.
It still works. Okay,
Yes.
so you
Oh,
guys
then
have a
use
way
that.
in there. Okay.
Still not as convenient
Okay.
as having the button on the car itself.
That's different. I thought everything had been like
no,
disconnected.
the
and-
clicker works.
Okay,
But
so-
we only have one clicker. Guess who's going to get that?
Wifey.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, on and on we go. Let's try to move
Oh,
off of this for a little
shoot.
bit. What?
I didn't put my big 5 things in there yet.
All right.
And we didn't have a traffic. Okay, I'm ready. When you're ready, Chris.
I am so ready.
Okay.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Big Five is brought to you by Summit Subaru of El Cajon. See all the 2 ways to save right now at summitsubaru.com. Now, Chris, real quick, why don't you ask a neighborhood kid for help? There's got to be a kid in your neighborhood that's in like high school that can do this for you.
Oh, that's a good idea. I
Okay.
got my buddy Ryan. He fixes a lot of that stuff.
Oh, then just go ask him.
I might have to get Ryan over there.
All right.
He's a Buccaneer fan, so I'll have to wait till the. Maybe I got to get him before the game.
Yes, get him before the game.
I don't know that he's going to be in much of a mood after the game tonight.
I think the Chiefs are going down tonight.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I'll
just
find
wishful
out.
thinking.
Game is right here on
wishful
97.3 The Fan, following our show.
That's right.
Number 5.
All right, so we talked about it before the break. A prospect who had a massive deal lined up with the San Diego Padres is reportedly not whom he says he is. An MLB investigation has found that top Dominican teenage prospect Cesar Altagracia falsified his paperwork and is actually 19 years old, not 14 as he previously claimed, according to ESPN. The teenager reportedly had a verbal agreement to sign with the Padres as an international free agent for roughly $4 million once he became eligible in January 2027, when he would have supposedly been 16 years old. So, Chris, I really didn't know what to ask, but is there blame to be shouldered by the Padres here?
I don't think so. Now his whole everything is void in his in the deal they worked out, right?
Correct.
But this also doesn't mean that the Padres couldn't work another deal out with him. 19 is still pretty young, and who doesn't lie on their job application about their age?
Everybody?
I wouldn't say everybody. I think a lot of people lie about their age on a job application all over the world.
Okay, maybe
Nobody wants to admit how old they are.
When you get hired, you have to show you have to show like a social security card.
I don't know if
can't
you
lie
always
about
do.
your age.
I don't know if you always do. I don't recall.
I mean, under the table stuff.
I don't
maybe.
recall showing any ID when I was brought on here.
It was also brought here.
Yeah,
But do they need to make sure that you're not you're at
that's
least
what
18?
I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The guy's 19. He's not 14. I totally get voiding the deal that they were going to have because he's 5 years older. But if you're interested in him, work another deal out, I would say. But
Okay.
that's what I think I'd do. I don't really hold it against him that he lied about his age, because I think everybody lies about their age. I mean,
That's the wildest answer
What-
I've
what do you
ever heard in
mean?
my life.
do you? What are the dating websites you go on, Scrabe? I mean, does anybody
that's
tell their
different.
real
That's not
age?
an official document. Like, he's lying to the government. He's lying to Major League Baseball. I think that's. I don't think that people, and I'm being serious, I don't think people lie about their age
Really?
on applications.
Wow.
I think that's illegal, actually. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. Because remember, you sign at the bottom, it says, like,
It's illegal
everything
to
is
roll
true.
through a stop sign too, but a lot of people do it. All right. Tony, jump in
Tony,
if you dare.
is there,
I think what's the actual
is
question?
there blame to be shouldered by the Padres here?
No. I mean, first of all, I imagine, and I know a little bit, it's not like the easiest to come across a birth certificate, in the Dominican when you're out scouting these kids.
Yeah.
In terms of the age, I would imagine that if you went and looked at a kid that you thought was 14, watched his skill set, and then you said, he's actually 5 years older.
Right.
You probably view that prospect in a completely different light.
Okay.
And the skill set that you thought was on a 14-year-old may not be worth it if it's on a 19-year-old at that point.
Fair enough.
And so, yes, it's not out of the realm that the Padres could come back and offer him a smaller deal, I would assume. But my guess is there's probably a lot of trust already kind of broken there when you tried to get the $4 million.
I get that part.
Get the $4 million from us.
No, I get that part, that the trust is lost.
Yeah.
But, another team's going to sign this guy.
Maybe. Again,
You think his trust is broken with everybody?
No, it's not even at the trust. It's just that what is impressive on a 14-year-old is not as impressive
No, I get
on
that.
a 19-year-old.
I got
So
you.
I don't know that, At $4 million, clearly they thought, oh, this is impressive for a 14-year-old.
Well, because he's 19.
At 19 years old, I don't think they're going to see it.
Can
that
you believe this 14-year-old's hitting 450-foot home runs? We got to get him in the Padres organization.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like Major League Baseball was the one that ended up kind of, at least it's being reported, that they're the ones who kind of figured out the kid was actually older.
Yeah, how did they find out? That's a good. Did they? I mean, a tree you can count the rings.
They just chop him open and count his rings, Chris?
I don't know what you do with a person. I mean, you hold him down and strangle him until he comes clean. All right, I'm 19.
This has been the craziest topic.
The garage is sitting.
It's throwing me off, guys. It's throwing me way off, that damn thing.
Who doesn't lie about their age on job applications?
All right, that I'm going to stick with.
That's crazy.
I'm sticking with that.
It's illegal.
You go ahead and follow every law.
Eddie says, saying you're 19 instead of 14 is like Kramer beating up on little kids in karate.
Oh, man.
All right.
Number 4.
I have many questions about this.
That was number 5 only?
Yes.
We're in trouble.
Yes. I don't know how often this happens, if verbal deals are allowed. I don't know anything about
How
this.
often what happens?
Like someone lying about their age.
It happens a lot.
But why does
I'm sure because Major League Baseball has tried to do a better job in recent years, that it's maybe a little bit harder. But there's always been, I mean, I know when I was playing, there was at least a couple cases where guys came back a few years older than they actually were because they got, eventually they got caught.
How about an actor?
You also have to remember that, when you're coming from Dominican or Venezuela, like a visa is involved in that. And so now,
But you can get any number you want on that visa, can't you?
No, because you're trying to come into the United States. So they're pretty tough on trying to figure that kind of stuff out. And if it's found that you lied, they can deport you. You don't get to come back.
Yeah, that's the part. What did you say? What about an actor?
I just said like an actor who's trying for a part of a 42-year-old person and is 60 but looks 40 might shave a few years off to try to get that role.
I think that they probably put their real birth date, but they look.
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't.
This is a fascinating conversation.
This really is.
I'm 60, but I think I look 40, so I think I'm good for the part. But if I'm 48, I got a shot.
Alan has your back, Chris. Can't ask age during the hiring process. Can only ask if they are 18 or older. There you go.
Adam.
Number 4.
I'm gonna put that well behind.
This is gonna have to come up again at some point.
There are many predictions out there as to what is going to happen in the offseason, and I've seen a lot of predictions throwing this scenario out there. The prediction is the Mets sign Juan Soto to a massive deal, and because of that, Pete Alonso ends up moving coasts and signs with the San Francisco Giants. So, Tony, do you think this would be a good move for Pete Alonso in the hypothetical world that it is?
If the Giants are going to cough up the loot that he's looking for, yeah, it's a good move. I could totally see the Juan Soto to the Mets thing happening. And you start having to ask yourself, where are the fits for Pete Alonso? Certainly the Giants, we know that roster pretty well. We've seen it. He would fit there. But I'm sure there are quite a few teams that could use a power-hitting first baseman like Pete Alonso. I think the Giants would be a good fit. They have some pieces there to kind of work with. You got Chapman. What's the center fielder's name? Broke his shoulder.
Jung-Ho Lee.
Jung-Ho Lee. Yep. You got
Robbie
him.
Ray's back.
You got some pieces to work with.
Patrick Bailey, I think, just won a Gold Glove
He
or
did.
something.
So I can see that being a landing spot for Pete Alonso.
Chris, what do you think? You think it would be a good spot for Pete?
I don't.
For Pete? Like I know him?
No, I don't think so. Not for any of the reasons Tony said, but for the reason that it's really hard to hit a home run in San Francisco, and that's what Pete Alonso makes a living doing. So I don't know that San Francisco would be my place to go if I made my money based on how many home runs I hit. And I believe that's what Pete Alonso makes his money based on.
He's a righty, right? So, yeah, he would be
Yeah, I mean, other than Barry Bonds, I don't know anybody's home run rate that goes up in San Francisco. So that's why I wouldn't do it.
All right.
Number 3.
How old is Pete Alonso?
I don't know. We should check his birth certificate, though.
That's right.
The 2024 Rawlings Gold Glove Awards were announced last night on ESPN, with first-timers once again stealing the show. This year's group of winners featured 14 first-time Gold Glovers, tied with 2022 for the most in a single season. And that year in 2022 also is when they added a utility player Gold Glove. So this marks the 5th straight season with at least 10 first-time recipients, extending the longest streak in the history of the award. Chris, what does this tell you about the state of baseball, if anything? Having 10-plus new recipients win a Gold Glove
Yeah, I don't
each
get
year.
anything on that. I just, the Gold Gloves have lost me completely, and you know why.
Because of Manny.
Manny's not a finalist. I think this is a stupid award. End of story for me.
This garage
I mean, I really
door.
believe that a lot of these guys are all great fielders, but there's a lot of great fielders, so this tells me nothing. I don't like the Gold Glove. Sorry.
Tony, what does this tell you about the state of baseball, if anything?
Maybe that after you win one, for a lot of guys, it's not as much of a priority anymore.
Oh, motivation.
Yeah, you done it, I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. I take that back. You know what it tells me? That they are getting better at finally having a way to decipher.
I would agree with that because they used to just give it to the guy who won the year before pretty much automatically.
100%. And if you were an offensive dude, you definitely were in the running for winning one. And I think what this tells you is they found a better way to kind of judge who are the best defenders in baseball.
All right. I don't know if we have enough time for this one. Packers quarterback Jordan Love has thrown at least one interception in all 7 games he's played this season, including one that Lions safety Kirby Joseph returned for a touchdown yesterday against the Lions, I'm sorry. Wait, yes.
Against the Packers.
That helped send the Packers to a 24-14 home loss, and it led to another round of questions for head coach Matt LaFleur about what's caused the flood of turnovers. LaFleur cut off a reporter asking about it, and we don't have enough time, so we're going to have to play you the audio on the other side. Our number 5 just completely floored me. I had no idea we were going to spend so much time on number 5.
I understand why you had such an issue with it.
So you'll hear what Matt LaFleur said yesterday, and also Joel Embiid might be in some trouble. So we'll finish up with that. Next on Gwynn Chris.
Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Sello, Matt Scraby. We got a daily gambit to get to, but we've got a question 2 and 1 from our big 5 to get through first. And then we also got to be off the air by like 4:25. So
yes,
we got to squeeze in a little bit here. So let's hop into it.
We also have Jason Kelce to get into. We got so much to get into.
Jason Kelce, Joel Embiid's beefing with reporters. Kevin Durant and Stephen A. Smith having verbal words for one another.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, no, it's getting thick here in the...
people are losing their minds. Let's just get to the end of the year, people. Come on.
Please. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, number 2 is about Packers quarterback. We already talked about that. Jordan Love has thrown at least one interception in all 7 games that he has played this season. Matt LaFleur was asked about it yesterday after the game, and Matt LaFleur was not happy about it being asked about it. Here's that situation.
Is it a delicate balance with a young quarterback where they can hold the plays that Jordan is to coach him?
You guys are going to make, I know, I understand, like, it's really annoying up here, though, like, you know, we're obviously, he's fighting, he's competing, and we know that we've got to take care of the football, but I don't question anything about what he's trying to do. We just got to do it better.
There you go. That's what he said. And so I am going to ask you something like this, Tony. Do you think it's fair to ask about turnovers after they happen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course
I rest my case.
No, time out. Yes, it is. It is appropriate.
Yes.
But it's also appropriate for the head coach or whoever to be annoyed with the question when the question wasn't just about him turning it over. It was about his decision-making in turning it over. And it sounded like he had been asked that question quite a few times based off of his kind of
this has been a thing.
Interruption.
It has been a thing.
So, yeah, I think to answer your original question, yes, it is okay.
Fair. Thank you. I rest my case. Chris, do you think it's fair to ask about turnovers after they happen?
Not if they've been asked like 6 times already in the same news conference. And
since
we only hear this in a vacuum, we don't really know the full story.
Fair point.
Right? So maybe Matt LaFleur's already a little irked at the previous couple of questions, referring to the fact that Jordan Love is not playing well. And then another one comes in, and he finally says, I'm about to snap. George is getting angry. But, he didn't. He held it together. I mean, he said, I'm a little tired of these questions, but he's competing, and he's got to do better. A lot of this comes from the social media stuff that these guys read.
1,000%.
And a lot of it comes from reporters that are trying to take these guys on and get a soundbite. And as we're going to hear in number 1, sometimes even though the athlete or coach acts the fool, I'm with them to a certain extent. I mean, some of these reporters, what does they say? You don't need a license to be a parent. I don't know if you need a license to be a reporter either.
Not anymore.
Right? You just walk in, you have a podcast, somebody gives you a credential, and you want to get your name out there, so you ask a stupid question.
It's so funny because in all sports now, there's such a willingness and a need to touch a new audience that they're more willing to give credentials to maybe outlets that they weren't willing to risk it before. I think it's a two-pronged thing, right? I think You got players who are more sensitive now, athletes that are more sensitive because they're exposed to so many more opinions. They're looking at it. They're doing all these different things. And as Chris said, folks in the media are incentivized to get that sound bite or that clip because
that's how they make a name for themselves.
That's how they get their foot in the door. Now, they don't all continue down that path after they get their foot in the door, but this is kind of the new way we're dealing with things.
Number one.
It's very confusing.
I think it's also important to remind folks that Mr. Love had a terrific first run of it. He's coming back. He's still a relatively young quarterback in this league. You know what
the
I'm
play
saying?
he made yesterday was a typical panic play by a young quarterback.
Exactly.
There were 5 people in his face. He thought he'd throw it away. The
As
ball
he's
got
falling.
deflected.
Couldn't get it there.
Right to the guy's hand, and he looked like an idiot.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, maybe Mahomes has never done it. I know Marino
He might
did it a
be
few
the
times.
only one that hasn't.
Yeah, Marino did it. They all have done it.
Yeah.
You know, these guys get on you. They're big and they're angry.
A spokesman for the NBA confirmed the league is investigating a reported confrontation between 76ers star Joel Embiid and a local columnist. According to the ESPN report I read, Embiid approached the Philadelphia Inquirer's Marcus Hayes about something he wrote. Now, the offending passage from his column came from something that was put out on October 23rd. And here is what the passage said that was the basis for this confrontation. Quote, Joel Embiid consistently points to the birth of his son Arthur as the major inflection point in his basketball career. He often says that he wants to be great, to leave a legacy for the boy named after his little brother, who tragically died in an automobile accident when Embiid was in his first year as a 76er. Well, in order to be great at your job, you first have to show up for work. Embiid has been great at just the opposite, end quote.
Who wrote this? Matt Scraby? Philadelphia Inquirer writer?
Marcus Hayes. Don't put me in this. So apparently in the locker room following a 76er loss on Saturday night, he told the columnist, quote, you are going to see what I'm going to do to you, end quote. If Hayes referenced his brother or son again, the argument continued. Embiid reportedly, quote, pushed Hayes on the shoulder while the team's public relations chief got between them. And then the reporter finally added there was no punch made or attempted by Embiid at all. So all of that is to say this, Chris. Should Joel Embiid be in trouble by the NBA?
I'll get to that in a second, but my answer in general is the same one I just gave for the last question. As far as whether he should get, I think maybe they ought to slap him on the wrist a little bit just so that guys think twice about pushing people.
Yeah.
The only reason I say that, because the guy deserves to be pushed. He's bringing up his dead younger brother, even in the way he brought it up, is off limits.
Absolutely.
He brings it up and then he slams it back
Absolutely.
in Embiid's
Off
face.
limits, my man. Oh, totally off limits. Totally understand the guy being completely fried about this. But at the same time, I think you gotta put something in there so that, because nothing good happens when you push somebody, and in this case. But this is one of those writers, man. He's just looking for reaction. I hate it. Hate it.
Tony, what do you think?
Absolutely. He hung, Joel hung on that. We said it was written October
23rd.
October 23rd.
He hung on to it for 2
He
weeks.
hung out for about 2 weeks before he ran
spotted
to
the
him
guy, right.
and said anything. And quite frankly, my man is lucky it was just a push to the shoulder.
I agree.
Because at 7'3",
a
however
large
many,
human being.
I imagine that Marcus is not on that same type size level.
Let me get a picture of Marcus Hayes.
I'm just going on. I haven't seen him.
I'm
but
assuming
I'm
he ain't
assuming that he's
7'3",
not
240.
right.
Yeah.
But to Chris's point, this is those last two questions really bleed into the same thing. Although Marcus may not have a podcast that he's trying to get clips for, he certainly has a column that he writes that he knows people view. And what better way to get your name? Here we are talking about him. I hadn't talked about Marcus ever.
Never heard of him before now.
But because he decided to write the article in the way that he wrote it, we get to talk about him a little bit. And I think that's part of what has people not trusting the media at all.
I would like to see
in all walks of life.
I would like to see the Philadelphia. Is it the Inquirer? Or did it say what paper?
Inquirer.
I'd like to see the Inquirer come out and say, you know what, we're putting this guy in probation.
I should
Or
add, sorry.
We're suspending this guy for a month because he wrote a crappy article. But they almost can't do that because somebody edited it somewhere and let it through in the first place.
Yeah. They have gone back and removed that passage from the online offering.
It should have. It should have. And that. Just think, if whoever was editing that done their job in the beginning.
Yeah.
Nobody gets pushed. We're not having the same conversation.
Somebody let this through in the first place. That's why it's hard for the paper to suspend this guy. But that might also be something that starts getting these writers to think twice, to be accountable.
This is also why you can't have fanboys doing it, because I assume there's some type of connection with Philly here.
I wonder who has Joel Embiid on their fantasy basketball team,
all of this
Marcus.
Stuff, is called into question now when you start going that low.
I think he's been reporting. He's a longtime reporter.
I'm sure he is. This is a cheap shot, he's lucky he didn't get cheap shotted. A push to the shoulder, he got off pretty easy. Got to consider himself
I'm
fortunate.
looking at an update article. Apparently, Marcus Hayes apologized.
What are you apologizing for, Marcus?
So
you stood behind what you
he
wrote.
Knew he was out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, you go.
If you write something
Anyway.
you need to apologize for, you got a problem, and so does the person on that desk who read that story and let it sail through. But
Agree.
What's
we
his
won't
name?
hear
Marcus
anything
what?
from that side.
Marcus Hayes.
Got a height and weight on him, Tony?
I was looking for a picture to see how big he was, but he seems like an older gentleman, so he wouldn't have it. He probably wouldn't have much of a chance to be.
He's actually. It's the irony.
Is he huge?
No, he. If this Marcus Hayes is the same cause I'm looking at, looks like he is. He's 41.
Oh, that's not older.
No,
not that old.
Went to Kansas State.
Yeah.
1983. I'm actually older than this
Kansas
gentleman.
State versus Kansas. There you go.
Wow.
There's the
Is that
beginning
the
of it.
point?
Yes.
Oh,
Joel
it
Embiid went to
just hit me.
Kansas.
It just hit me.
Yeah, Joel Embiid went
It's
to
a
Kansas.
K-State Kansas
That's,
thing.
there you go.
We figured it out. We need to send that to the NBA. They need to stop investigating.
That's the thing, is if he just took that part out, that little part about
This never happens.
brother. The same article could have been written, and it would have been a fair article.
Could have
at
made the
that
same
point.
point.
Yeah,
You want to be a great player, you got to show up. That's it.
didn't need to include any family to make that point.
No, he did not.
Do we want to talk about the Kelces here or
Yeah,
later?
let's do that, and we'll get to the gambit in the next segment. Do your Kelce thing. What happened there?
Okay, so the Kelces, Jason Kelce, he's a huge, obviously, celebrity now. So everywhere he goes, he gets recognized. And he was at College Game
By
Day.
the way, this also bleeds into the last two questions.
It
Go ahead.
sure does. I need to get everything ready because I thought we were going to do it on the other side. But
You did ask if you
I
wanted
did.
to talk
I
about
did.
Kelsey.
Absolutely.
I figured if you asked that you
this
probably
is
had
on
it
me.
ready.
Nope, you are absolutely
Okay.
right.
Just wanna
There's
make
no
sure.
blame on me. But he's walking through
There's
the crowd
no
and
blame on you, huh?
or there is all the blame on me is what I meant to say. They were walking through the crowd. Oh my gosh, guys, I cannot find it. This
Okay,
is
I can tell you what
embarrassing.
happened, 'cause
When
I was
we
wa-
get
I
back-
saw it.
Oh, we have to get the video though, so we have to do it when we get back. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we'll do it when we get back.
This is my fault.
More Gwynn and
All
Chris
my
on the other
fault.
side. Here's some traffic.
From the 97.3
to our daily gambit. Tony would rather we just avoid it. You'll understand why when we get to his record over the weekend.
I totally forgot until you just said that.
Yeah. It was a tough weekend in that regard for Mr. Gwynn.
Tough does not explain that.
But first,
it's really
Scrappy wants to.
remarkable, actually.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
It's really hard
hard to do what you did. Jason Kelce, though, another athlete getting into it.
Now, he didn't start this one.
Okay.
It seems like none of the athletes have
I guess
started
you're
these
right.
that you've brought it up.
I guess you're right. Well, he was at College Game Day, and he was walking around the campus, I guess, and people were screaming at him. I'll tell you at the end, because everybody already knows this by now, but this kid is screaming homophobic slurs.
Why don't you just play it and let everybody kind of...
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Kelce! Hey, Kelce! Kelce, can I get a fist bump?
And he turns around.
Kelce, can I get a fist bump?
And that was the phone on the ground. Did you hear that, Chris?
Wait. It wasn't the fist bump guy, right?
No, it wasn't.
It was the guy who was behind him yelling.
Yes.
He snatched the guy who was behind him yelling's phone?
He turned around, found it, and then threw it on the ground, and then picked it up and walked away with it. And the guy went after him to try to get his phone back, and Jason Kelce was having none of it. So the big question is...
What's the big question, Scrappy?
The big question around
this
town
ain't even a big five question either.
No, but it's such a crazy situation that people are asking, if you're famous, don't you have to ignore this?
Why? Can I ask you guys a question? This is a serious question. Do you have to be... I guess the only word I can really use on the air is jerk?
Yes, thank you.
When you see somebody that you've seen on TV, like, dude, Jason Kelce's literally minding his own business, walking through the campus.
It is a sight to see, though.
He's not like, interacting with anybody who, if they came up to him, I'm sure he'd probably interact. But do you have to be that guy in the background? Is it just like, is it a necessity?
Hey, Kelce, how's it feel to have your brother, whatever was beeped out? I mean, that's enough to upset people. A lot of people.
In the 80s and 90s.
You get tired of it. I mean, I can't imagine that's the first time Kelce's had to hear it.
In the 80s, 90s.
Especially about his brother.
Early 2000s, that guy would have probably got punched in his face.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
But now the cameras are out. You at least think that part through. Now, maybe Jason didn't quite think through the whole slamming of the phone and then giving it back to him.
No, he didn't give it back to him. He picked it up and walked away with it himself.
No,
Perfect.
Because he's
Jason Kelce.
Yeah, okay,
but here is another part of the story that TMZ brought to light that people are not happy with. But the same slur that was used to talk about Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce then called that person that after the ordeal. And I know we're really breaking it down, but I do think these things are important because we gotta figure out how to be a society.
I don't know. We have people in the stands trying to pick people's arms off during games. I mean, this is almost accepted behavior.
Yeah.
And until the behavior of the people going to the zoo improve,
right?
Then I don't think the people in the zoo can be, blamed for reacting.
Listen, if you
if you push a button in the zoo, the lion is going to come and take your heart out. And so there's a price to pay. And people don't think there's a price to pay to act an idiot.
That's because there isn't a lot of consequences, right? Usually, I think it takes a special person to turn around, snatch a phone, and not care what happens after you slam it. Most people are going to keep it moving because they don't want the drama that comes with, your reaction, right? But as I was going to say, in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, that guy would have got punched in his face, and everybody would have been like, "Oh, well, I guess you get what you deserve." Now we can't operate that way. And so, to answer your question, yes, Jason is not supposed to react to a certain point, and I recognize that him using the slur is not the way you want to go. But I also don't blame him. He was pushed into that direction.
Yeah, and
The word could have been black cat, and he would have repeated that back to him in the heat of the moment.
No,
regardless.
probably would have. I mean, back in the night, I don't ever think anyone should punch anyone ever. But back in the 90s, you're right. It's just like, I think a lot of what is being taken out of this is Jason Kelce returning that word.
I don't think so.
And also the violence that he showed.
Yeah, no. See, I think that's. I think most people who see that are not faulting him for reacting. That is.
Nate said it best. Sorry, this is how what I wanted to say. Now the guy who said it is the victim, which is sad.
But that's on us.
Exactly.
For us not making him the victim. He's not the victim. He started it. He literally started it.
Yeah. Chris?
I said everything, I think. I mean, I'm tired of all of this. I am almost getting to the I'm at the point. Never mind. I'm at the point where I don't mind these people retaliating.
All right. That's fair.
It's happening a lot.
That's fair.
It's happening
And it's
a lot.
starting to happen a little bit, and it's going to happen more, and TMZ is going to get enough footage of it to where people are going to think twice, hopefully, before they start in on this stuff. Because I don't know any other way to fix it.
I don't either.
Toothpaste.
Out of the tube.
Out of the tube.
All right. Now let's go into something else that's debaucherous.
We don't have to do the Daily Gambit if you guys don't want to.
Oh, no, we're going to.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwen and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on the show. Please gamble responsibly, everybody. I can't wait till Chris figures out his garage door, Tony, because I can just feel like that's taking up most of his RAM in his head right now.
I don't think so. I mean, You've asked the same question for 20 minutes, and I'm with it, but I'm out of things to say about it. I think people need to, behave themselves, and if not, pay a little price, and that's what's happening.
That's not what I was saying.
But I'm not allowed to say that.
I wasn't saying that you weren't responding. I was just saying that you seem a little distant.
Okay. I'll go home and get the garage door fixed.
Aztecs at Boise State on Friday night. Boise, 24-point favorites in this one. Aztecs, we all picked them, and they lost 56-24, so 32 points. We did not cover on that one, guys.
It was not a pretty game.
Not a pretty game at
And
all.
its final score was even closer because the Aztecs fought till the end and put up a couple of late touchdowns, but it looked like a mismatch from the very beginning, unfortunately.
Now, we had a bet for who had more rushing yards, Ashton Genty or Marquez Cooper, plus 40 for Marquez Cooper. Ashton Genty had 149. Marquez Cooper had 94 actual yards, plus his 40 gives us 134, so we all lost that one as well. 7 total touchdowns in the game, over, under. Chris went over, Tony and I went under. I counted 10 touchdowns, but it doesn't really matter the exact number because it was over 7 for sure. Lakers minus 9.5 on the spread at the Raptors Friday night. We all chose the Lakers. Lakers won, but they lost 131-125.
This is terrible.
Brooklyn minus 1.5 on the spread over the Bulls. Chris and Tony chose the Bulls. I chose the Nets, and the Nets won 120-112. Trae Young versus the Kings on Friday. Zion versus the Pacers on Friday. Tony was the only one taking Trae Young, and Zion won this one, 34 points to Trae Young's 25. Finally, Ohio State minus 3 at Penn State on Saturday. Chris and I chose Ohio State. Tony chose Penn State. Ohio State won 20-13. So there we go.
So if you were paying attention to that, Tony went 0-7, which is really hard to do, as he said, because every one of those is kind of a 50-50 coin flip, but he missed them all.
Yes.
So that's how the week ended.
I
was
that
the
Chris
champ
texted
last
us
week.
this
He
weekend.
did text
He
me.
said, Tony, you're going to have a smile on your face. You went 0-7 in the Daily Gambit. I had to reread it like, did he mean I went 0-7? That was a funny text, Chris.
I definitely was not expecting that
I was
text.
trying to cheer him up.
You
but
did.
That wasn't, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a few other items in that text, but that was part of it for sure. Kansas City -9, Tampa Bay.
Kansas City
Scraby, you lead
-9.
off. Oh, no, I'm the champ this week. I'm going to go Tampa Bay. Kansas City's due to have a lay an egg. Tony?
Kansas City, baby.
KC -9. Scraby?
I can't stand the Chiefs.
I know.
But I'm going to bet with my head and not with my heart.
Kansas
Chiefs.
City -9. Mahomes -15 yards against Mayfield.
-15.
So I
against
guess Mayfield gets 15 tacked
Okay,
onto
plus
his
15,
total.
all
Right. Who's going to throw for more under those circumstances, Tony?
Man, Mayfield gets a +15.
Yes, he does. He doesn't have any starting wide receivers.
Oh, he
That's
sure. Yeah,
probably
give me Pat Mahomes, please.
Mahomes boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
-15 yards. Scraby?
I'm going. Baker Mayfield would win this without the 15.
Mayfield?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
You
take
lying.
Baker.
Patrick Mahomes is not the passing quarterback that we have seen in the past this year. He's getting it
He
done.
doesn't have any receivers either, but he wins every game. Who's going to have more receiving yards? Tampa Bay tight end Cade Otton or Kansas City's tight end Travis Kelce? Scraby.
So much Kelce going on right now.
I know.
I'm going to go Cade Otton.
Otton had a huge game last week while the other receivers were out. Travis Kelce usually comes to play on Monday Night Football. I'll take him. Tony?
Oh, yeah.
Kelce. Here. One game, college basketball season. Today's the opener around the country. Start of college basketball season. Starts with a bang tonight. 8th-ranked Baylor at 6th-ranked Gonzaga. Gonzaga's favored by 6. It's always hard to pick the first game of the year. But I'll take the Zags since they're going to be in the Pac-12. Got to give 6, though. Tony? This is a rematch of the championship game from 3 or 4 years ago.
Zags who?
Baylor.
Zags by 6. I'll take the Zags.
Zags. Scrape.
I'm going to go Baylor.
Don't hurt yourself.
Thank
Baylor
you.
+6.
Don't hurt yourself.
The only winless team in the NBA, the Utah Jazz, at the Bulls. Bulls are favored for the first time this year,
Wow.
giving 8 points, though. But Utah's winless. That's why. Tony? Bulls -8.
Doubles.
All right, thank you.
Jazz.
Jazz.
They got to win at some point.
I have faith in the Bulls, but not to win by more than 8. I'll take the Jazz. And the big surprise of the year, Cleveland is undefeated. Milwaukee's 1-5. And everybody's talking about trading Antetokounmpo. Cavs are -7 at home against the Bucks. Scraby.
Cavs are -7 against the Bucks. I will go Cavs.
Cavs, the undefeated Cavs. I'll take the Bucks. They got to get it turned at some point. Tony.
Bucks.
Okay. That's it.
Sweet.
Did it quickly.
Nice job.
Well done. Forgot whose segment this is.
This would be yours.
Can I read something before we go to break? Listen to Inside San Diego Baseball with Sam Levitt Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on 97.3 The Fan. And on the YouTube page, Sam will talk all things Padres baseball and keep you up to date on the latest hot stove rumors. So this Wednesday, Sammy Lev going to be kicking it off. Them off.
Starting after the Scraby Chronicles.
That's right.
Wednesday night. We got good, bad, ugly, a fun recap of Week 9 in the NFL. Next.
authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit SpiroCuisine.com.
Yeah, babe.
3:38 on the clock. Chris Gwynn and Scravy.
That guy.
That guy. We got a GBU headed your way. A lot of unruly fan media behavior in the first couple hours of this show we've covered. But now we get down to the football.
I also am unruly because I brought Chris a dude wipe in the break and put it on top of his hand.
Scraby was trying to start a fight in here during the break. I'm glad Chris
I did not go Jason Kelce.
He did
on him.
not. He has settled down from his garage incident.
I was just trying to cheer him up.
Nah, you were trying to poke the bear. That's what you're doing.
Bringing me a dude wipe and actually placing that moist towelette on my body? Ugh.
Well, I thought maybe you wanted to wipe your hands with a nice shea butter is what it said it has on there. That got Tony. Well, and it was also a new package. Someone keeps supplying our bathroom with dude wipes.
Unlike some shea butter on the forearm.
Do you know where that shea butter is meant to go?
No, I don't. Yes, I do actually know where it's meant to go. You know what? Let's go ahead and check some traffic and get to the GBU.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Tell you what, guys, that southbound 5 is up to no good this afternoon. We've got a stalled car in middle lanes right before La Jolla Village Drive. Then up ahead, right before SeaWorld Drive, collision involving a couple vehicles. That's got the right lanes blocked. Not done yet. Collision on southbound 5 near 28th Street. Now that one is over to the right shoulder. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a crash on the Coronado Bridge heading off the island just past the old toll plaza. Those vehicles are over the right shoulder. Also stall reported on southbound 805 past Mira Mesa Boulevard. That's been moved over the right shoulder. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car. Usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, our regular Monday feature, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Wrapping up Week 9 of the NFL. Of course, we're headed toward the final game of Week 9. Following our show tonight, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Kansas City Chiefs. On Monday Night Football, we start with the good, as always. And in this case, we start with weather that was frightfully bad. But the Detroit Lions didn't seem to be bothered by the rain at Lambeau Field. I got to be honest with you guys, I enjoyed watching this game because there's no more bad weather games in football. They don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
So many dome stadiums and, mud games, dirt games. There was the weather played a factor here.
It did.
I thought the one thing that impressed me the most is the Lions scoring on 2 fourth-down plays that everybody else would have kicked the field goal. And Dan Campbell just says, we're going for it. And both times they got touchdowns. They also got this.
Love takes the shotgun snap. Lions bring a late blitz. Love back, looking, being chased. Love throws, picked up on the line. Kirby Joseph, left side. He's going to go, baby. Count it down. 5, end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Wow, how big is that? How big is that?
Sounds like he's in a
I think they're
tunnel.
indoor.
Yeah, I don't think they had the windows open in the press box.
No, it's such
there.
a weird sound.
It was.
That was definitely windows closed right there.
Yeah, windows closed.
It's probably cold and icy.
Detroit really, in any conditions, on the road especially, I think they're the best team in the league right now, but 7-1. We'll see if they can keep it up.
Matt LaFleur, not only was he unhappy with questions after the game, but he was definitely unhappy with Dan Campbell going for it on those fourth downs.
Why was he unhappy? It won the game.
But there's a camera. He felt like it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary? It was 3-3 when he went for it the first time.
Okay, well, it was the later one that really
got him. It was
got
17-3 at that
Tell
point.
Matt LaFleur.
And taking it to 24-3 is, I have no problem with that.
Well, he mouthed across the way, bleep.
Well, how about stopping him and
bleep.
staying in the game?
Bleep you.
I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a dumb move.
Make it stop.
Here's the thing. It's 17-3, third quarter. They're on a 10-yard line. The field goal is almost a sure thing. That gives you a 17-point lead, which is a 3-score advantage. Dan Campbell said, forget it. I'm going for another touchdown. Stop them. If you're the Packers, you would have stayed in the game. But they didn't stop them.
Nah. Listen.
I got no complaints.
Matt LaFleur has been chosen as the next brilliant mind in this league, and his team is going through a little bit of struggle sauce.
Well, if he's the brilliant mind, he ought to be smart enough to know that going for a touchdown is just fine.
Yes.
It wasn't 41-3.
He might have just been
in
in his feels because his team was getting their butts kicked.
Yeah. All right, also in the good category yesterday, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. 5 TD passes. Yeah, Macaulay Culkin dressed up as Joe Burrow. Looked just like him. The crazy part of this, as Scraby well knows, is that none of those 5 touchdowns went to Jamar Chase. 2 of them, though, went to Mike Gesicki.
Burrow tapping both sides of his helmet. The receivers get the indicator. Burrow catches the shotgun snap, begins scrambling right. Now reverses direction, throws into the end zone, and is caught in the back left corner by Mike Gesicki.
Touchdown, Cincinnati. Nice.
I played against him in the league.
He was
and that's
balling.
really annoying.
Yeah, he was balling.
Doesn't do anything all year, and then does that.
Cincinnati 41, Las Vegas Raiders 24. Raiders fired all their coaches today, offensive coordinators and play callers, and Antonio Pierce said that was my decision.
Well, great. Now you have no coaches.
You had no coaches and no players for them to call plays for anyway.
That's true.
I mean, you traded away Davante and everybody else. In the good category for the first time in maybe a decade, the Carolina Panthers. They finally win a game. Bryce Young, who's had to go through hell, finally won a game. But the biggest reason this is in the good category is because Tony Gwynn Jr. has picked yet another upset in our pick'em game.
I think you said if he hit this last upset, the game would be over.
It's pretty much all but over. I mean, he's got such a big lead. You guys out there ought to start taking advantage of his picks because the Panthers came through.
Bryce under center. Chuba's the deep back. Snap. Give it to Chuba. Chuba inside the 10. 5. Slides into the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. He spikes the ball, and Carolina's got a lead.
Carolina went on to win it, 23-22. Both teams are 2-7. Saints fired coach Dennis Allen today. That's what you get if you lose to the Panthers. Into the bad category we go. The Denver Broncos find themselves there. After starting the season 5-3, we all wondered, how in the world are they 5-3? Especially after we saw them fall to 5-4. Lamar Jackson had a perfect passer rating for the second time this season. Sean Payton and his Broncos were put back in their place.
On 3rd and goal, he takes the snap. He's looking to the right, nothing there. Under pressure, scrambling to the right, pumps once, throws back in the end zone. Touchdown, Zay Flowers.
Baltimore 41, Denver 10.
Lamar Jackson looks unbelievable.
How did they
again.
lose to Cleveland last week? What happened there?
It's fun to watch him during the regular season, but I think we all know he will only be judged on what he does in the postseason. He certainly looks like he's on his way for another MVP, though.
You're going to win another one. Yeah, but can he win the big one in the playoffs? You're right, Tony. Also in the bad category, the Dallas Cowboys are practically living here this year. Sorry, Falcon fans. I know you'd rather celebrate you being 6-3, but it's a lot more fun to pile on the Cowboys, who fall to 3-5. Dak was not only knocked out of that game, but it was determined today that he's going to be out for weeks, according to sources. Man, it's getting worse for the Cowboys. And Kirk Cousins is making Jerry's world pick up the pieces.
Robinson's come out of the game. Here's Cousins, looks, lobbing, end zone, caught, touchdown, Drake London.
Drake London with the TD, Atlanta 27, Dallas 21. Finally, in the bad category,
CeeDee Lamb left the game, right?
CeeDee Lamb left the game,
Yeah.
but he's going to be okay, apparently.
Okay.
Dak's not going to be okay. It seems unfair to put a game-winning 61-yard field goal into the bad category, but the next time your favorite team loses on a 61-yard field goal, you'll understand where I'm coming from. The
Snap by
Dolphins
Ferguson, hold by Martin. Kick by Bass is long enough. And it is good! Bombs away for Tyler Bass, who bombs it from 61!
I got to tell you, the second he kicked that ball, it was easily good.
Yeah.
Like, usually when you kick it that far out, that's like a line drive type kick. Maybe it can get blocked. This was above the goalposts.
He
and just
booted that.
I'm like, there's no way he missed that. And he didn't. Dolphins are 2-6.
I think the worst part about that for a Dolphins fan is knowing that Tyler Bass has missed so many field goals, important field goals in his career. And
Not
then he
against
hits
the
that
Dolphins.
one.
No, he didn't miss them against the Dolphins. Tua and company. By the way, Tua was 25 for 28. Still couldn't win the game.
Can I make
against
Buffalo?
Go ahead.
I feel like your coach is about to get fired.
No, I don't think so.
At the end of the year, I just don't. I mean, what have they gotten better at since he's been the coach?
Nothing. But they're a little snake bit right now. They've lost 2 straight games on the last play field goal. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I don't think he's in firing range yet.
I don't either.
All right.
We'll see how they finish up.
You know who needs to be fired is your head coach.
No, he does not. They were in
Since
a bye.
you want to fire head coaches.
They look terrible this week.
Yeah, they were so bad at home. Christian McCaffrey practiced today, so there you go.
He might be coming back next week. Finally, the ugly category. The Cleveland Browns are back there. After beating the Ravens last week, they seem to return to form in this game. Against the Chargers, Jameis Winston was sacked 6 times and threw 3 picks. Cleveland didn't reach the end zone till the final play. Don't look now, but the Bolts, Harbaugh and company, are 5-3.
Herbert rolling to his right, sets his feet, takes a shot downfield. Q wide open, 30, 25, 20. Turn on the Jets, Quentin. Touchdown, Chargers.
I'm impressed with Matt Money Miller that time. He actually said that the guy rolled to the right. That's the most description he's given all year.
Matt Money Smith.
Yeah, that guy too.
What do you call him?
What I call Matt Money Miller. Chargers 27, Cleveland 10. Also ugly yesterday, Arizona and the Bears. Kyler Murray won this game and still put up some of the lowest fantasy numbers of his life. 4.7 points. Sorry, Scrabe.
That's all right.
Caleb Williams sacked 6 times. Couldn't get the Bears in the end zone. Bears are 4-0 at home. They're 0-4 on the road. Don't look now. The Cardinals, who won 4 games last year, are in first place in the NFC worst.
3rd down and 5, Arizona. Snap is back to Murray, and an inside handoff. That's a good run up the middle. This is trouble. DeMarcado near sideline to the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Arizona!
I don't know if it was trouble for Arizona. It was trouble for the Bears, though. That was like with 3 seconds to go in the first half. They handed off, and the guy ran 60 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know where the Bears were on that one. I wonder if their cornerback was back there celebrating with the fans.
Did you see that? He had, I believe it was the first quarter he had to sit out, or the first couple series maybe that he had to sit out.
The guy that
I guess he
popped
also
off in Washington.
Found out in practice last week.
that he was being demoted.
And then he took himself out of practice.
Let me tell you, we are dealing with an all-time high of ridiculousness. This guy that Scraby's referring to, the defensive back, Stevenson, was, as we saw last week, having a good old time, taunting the Commander fans, and then promptly went up and tipped the ball in the air so that the Commanders could win. And they told him you were being demoted during the week, and he took himself out of practice. He was so distraught that I can't practice.
And then he came back a little bit later, but everybody was like, what?
Like,
you left practice,
what is going on? Like, quarterbacks tapping out, quarterbacks who get demoted because they're not playing well are, like, leaving practice because they're so distraught. Like,
people beating up reporters, or at least wanting to.
Jason Kelce smashing phones.
What is going on?
This has been a weird weekend. That is for sure.
When I read that he was told that he was being demoted and, like, had to go take a break, I'm like, what is going on?
They were only stretching, so he could have sat there and thought to himself as he was stretching, man, this
mad
What's
world.
going on?
He also caused this all to happen. So
it's like, you know, we're going to send you down AAA. I think I'm going to go home. This doesn't work for me.
Tennessee beat New England 20-17 in overtime in the final ugly game of the week. This one's ugly just because it was the Titans and the Patriots. Although, if you saw it, Drake May's last play of the game was pretty incredible to get the tying touchdown. Did you guys see that?
Yes, I did.
Ran around for about 3 minutes and then threw the tying touchdown. It didn't matter. The Titans won.
Well, I hope so.
Rudolph drops to throw. Looks, floats it into the end zone.
Touchdown, Titans! All he does is catch touchdowns. That is NWI, Nick Westbrook-Akine, his fourth.
I thought it was Chris Carter.
We're going to need to look up Westbrook
Akine. Because his stats.
How many touchdowns he has? He's
He
making
said
it seem
4.
like all he does is catch touchdowns.
That was Chris Carter's. Chris Carter's.
All he does is catch
big
touchdowns.
deal back in the day.
He's got 4.
Let's
got
see.
four.
He's got
He
10 catches with 4 touchdowns. So.
Okay, so that's where his. Okay.
That's where that came
Within the 10 catches he got. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a little Chris versus the fans. It's been a crazy day, so get involved with that. What's the phone number, Scrab?
833-288-0973.
I couldn't even come up with that right now.
Garage is swimming in his head.
And he keeps telling us that it's not. Okay.
Great shot. Great shot. Great shot. Perfect shot. Eagle. Great shot. Great shot. Great shot. Perfect shot. Eagle. Great shot. Great shot. Great shot. Perfect shot.
25 minutes or so of our Monday show. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Chiefs Buccaneers coming up Monday Night Football at the bottom of the hour. Before we get to Chris versus the Fans, Scraby reminded me and us about probably the best example of a horrible way to lose a bet. The Miami Buffalo game yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was horrible.
The final play of the game, the Dolphins were down after the 61-yard field goal.
This is an extreme bad beat right here.
Yeah, oh man, it's as bad as it could. I can't imagine anything ever worse. They were down 3 points after the 61-yard field goal. They're on maybe their own 30-yard line or so. And Tua threw a pass out into the flat. Somebody caught it. And then they lateraled it to Jalen Waddle, and Waddle started to retreat because he was trying to free himself up to throw another lateral.
Yeah.
But the angle that the defenders had on him, he didn't have anywhere to go, so he kept retreating, had nothing to lose, right? The game's over unless he can find somebody else to lateral it to. And he never found anybody to lateral it to, and he ended up getting tackled at his own 6-yard line. What that did was that gave Jalen Waddle a reception for minus 24 yards.
It did.
It also gave Tua Tagovailoa 24 less passing yards.
Tua Tagovailoa.
That guy. Well, coming into the final play, Tua was 10 yards over his number for the day.
Yep.
His prop bet.
Yep.
So he was 10 yards over with 5 seconds to go in the game. There's no way you can lose that bet except Jalen Waddle ran backwards 24 yards, and that came off of Tua's passing total and the under one instead of the over.
I was wondering how
That's
this happened.
incredible.
Because I saw his final stat line was like 4 catches, -2 yards, and a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, Jalen Waddle, right.
And I was like, huh?
Yeah,
How did
he was
catch
at-
a touchdown and get -2 yards?
Right, he was
that's,
at
that's tough to do.
Yeah, he
right
was
there.
at 3 for 22
and then
and a touchdown before the
wow.
last play of the game, and he
That's
finished
so
with
funny.
4 for -2. But you lost your Tua bet because of that play. That's the worst beat maybe ever.
That is pretty bad.
All right, let's do a little Chris versus the Fans here. Chance to win a pair of tickets to see Tom Segura this Friday at Pechanga Arena. Get your tickets now at access.com. That's AXS.com. Go.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
Howdy do.
now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question, or you win if you're a first-time player. Nice job, guys. Let us know before we get into it. You'll get that question for free today. Chris versus the Fans is presented by SD Fat Loss. Lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. Visit sdfatloss.com to schedule your free consultation. Now, we are ready to play. And Chris is going to roll a die for our first contestant. Oh, do we not have it?
Well, if it's been here.
I got it right here.
Oh, you got it.
Oh.
Uno.
Dos. Tres.
What are you doing?
I'm thinking. I had a brain malfunction in what I was doing on the board, but yes, here we go.
Contestant's name. There we go.
Derek,
Derek, welcome to the show, Derek.
My man, hey, you know what? TG Jr., I've been trying to get on for about 3 weeks because I got a bone to pick with you, man. I'm feeling some kind of way.
Is this about the Oregon head coach?
It sure is.
What's your bone to pick with me real quick?
Well, okay. Well, did you watch ESPN College Game Day? So I'm going to give you 3 quick takes right here. Number one.
Gosh. We're playing a game, sir.
No. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Number one, he was arguably the defensive coordinator of the greatest college defense of all time in 2022. Number 2, his wife survived bone cancer. Number 3, even though Caleb DeBoer at Washington made Oregon their daddy, Alabama wanted Lanning, not DeBoer. And Dan Lanning said no. He's a good man.
To be fair, Coach Lanning, I don't really know the guy. His swag is on 10, and it just irritates me sometimes. He's a great football coach. Not taking anything away from him. I'm happy his wife survived the cancer scare that she had, but he still rubs me the wrong way. He's a good coach, though. I have no bones to pick with you on that one.
He does rub more than just Tony the wrong way.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Let's get to your first question.
2-2, by the way. 2-2.
Oh, see, hear that, Chris?
What's 2-2?
He's 2-2 on the game, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think
All
that's
right,
what
here we go. Here we go. Let's see if you can get to 3-2. First question. What Dodger player was involved with the fan interference during the World Series?
That would be Betts, right?
That is correct. On to question number 2.
Fight the fan. That happened last week. Man, crazy things are happening.
Who leads the NFL in passing touchdowns right now?
Oh, let me double check.
Uh-oh.
After last week,
the last time you did this, it didn't work out.
I believe I'm still correct though.
I'm still gonna go Burrow. I think it's Burrow.
Macaulay Culkin / Joe Burrow.
That's actually a really good guess. So let me.
Oh wow.
I'm just making sure because I wrote the question last week. I just want to make sure that nothing is. It's all up and up.
We'll wait.
And I'm sorting the stupid table now.
This is great radio.
Right. Sorry, after all that.
Joe Burrow's not correct.
Is Baker Mayfield correct?
Is Baker Mayfield correct? He is indeed.
Sorry, Derek.
Sorry, Derek.
I will I will hold your head coach in a little bit higher esteem, but he still annoys me though sometimes.
You guys are great. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Derek.
All right.
Scrappy, you all right over there, dude? It seems like you have quite a few malfunctions today.
There's only been one.
Is Chris rubbing off on you?
No.
Sure.
I was confused with there was something going on with the computers, and I was confused, and I was thinking about 75 other things, and then you said one, and I was like, What did he just say?
Okay.
What language is this?
Who's the next contestant?
I'm just going to go to the next contestant so we can stop doing this. We'll go to David in Del Cerro.
David, what's going on?
Hey, guys, you want to check my birth certificate?
Yes, please. I would.
Here we
Okay.
go. Question number 1. Which NFL team won Super Bowl 20 and was also known as the Monsters of the Midway? It's a heck of a question one.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steel Curtain. No, that's not the correct answer.
No, the Steelers are known as the Steel Curtain.
Right.
The Bears were the Monsters of the Midway. And those Bears were especially monstrous.
The Bears.
That was the 85 Bears.
Oh, that's like one of the best
greatest
defenses of all time.
Ever.
Scraby, next contestant?
Let's go. Let's go to our next contestant, Alex in Cardiff.
Alex in Cardiff. How
Alex,
are you?
he's taken down the game lately.
Has he?
Yeah, I think so. Alex,
Really?
have you won like once or twice recently? I know you won last week, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alex is
Back
rolling.
at it again.
Well, he
Here
can
we
win
go,
again.
Alex.
That's the way it goes. Scrape, you brought him on. You can't hang up on him
Scraby is
now.
instantly hating on you,
Well,
Alex, because
the reason
you
I asked
won
for you guys
last week.
you guys to roll the dice because I'm so tired of people saying that I screen their calls in my DMs. I am so tired of it. I do not screen the calls. That's why I wanted you guys to do that. No, I do not. Do not.
Well,
Tony.
I think you ought to come clean. I mean, you and Alex have been in cahoots on this game for years now.
No, that's you and Tony on Chris's Fantabulous Sports Game Show.
Here we go. Question number 1.
In fact, it'll be you and Alex going to see Tom Segura this Friday at Pechanga Arena.
I knew there was something up.
Yeah.
Here we go. First question. How many holes of golf must a player complete in order to qualify to make the cut in a PGA tournament?
How many holes of golf to compete? Is it like 2 days? So that would be 18 times 2, 36.
Wow, I like how you got there. That was a very interesting way.
That was
of
a
getting there.
good guess.
Little
Correct
math.
guess.
Little math. Threw Scraby off for a minute.
No, it's just funny.
Scraby was worried you were going to miss that one and ruin his chance to see Tom Segura.
Here we go. Question number 2. Who has the most touchdowns in the NFL right now?
Non-quarterback.
Non-quarterback.
You mean not throwing touchdowns, but scoring touchdowns.
Scoring touchdowns, yes.
Could have been written better, but that's how it was written.
Who scored
I
the
think
most
it's
touchdowns?
King
right?
Henry.
Wow.
King Henry, a.k.a. Derrick Henry.
He's got to have 1 million.
He's got 13.
He might have 1 million
That's
when the
all?
season's over.
Yeah, I
Seems
played
like he
against
gets
him
that
yesterday,
many
too.
every. Well, you're in 16 leagues. So you're going to play against everybody.
Same league, same
Here
league.
we go, Alex. Question number 3. Ha! What college football player leads the country in rushing yards?
You got to know all your college players. Good luck. That's tough.
I have no idea.
Good old no idea.
Stay there, Alex.
I'm going to go with
Southeast
the guy from
College.
Boise. He's the only one I know. Genty.
Ashton Genty.
Oh.
He is
Sorry,
indeed
Alex.
the
sorry,
leading
Alex.
rushing.
Sorry, Alex.
I didn't know he was. I just knew of him.
I mean, if you watched the game, you probably was pretty easy to.
They might
come
have
to a
mentioned it the
conclusion.
other night, yeah.
Scraby, we need another contestant, buddy.
Dun, dun, dun.
First, we need the first question.
We need that too.
Okay.
Okay.
Next contestant is going to be Charles and Ramona.
Hey,
Hello,
Charles.
Are you talking to me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
turn
Talk
your
to me
radio
radio.
down there,
please.
Charles. Good job.
I'm sorry. You guys just answered and okay.
We have
Hi.
caller ID. It does surprise every single
Okay,
person.
I'm like, you know my name.
If you've called into the radio station before, it'll pick it up. So.
All right,
Okay.
Here we go. First
We're pretty
question.
intelligent over here, Charles. We just don't sound
More
like
like-
it most of the time.
Okay, here we go.
What Padre picked up their option today?
Picked up their option today. Oh my goodness, I'm not. No, he didn't pick it up. I was going to say Ha-Seong Kim, but he did not pick up his option. He, is Profar free agent? Did Profar pick up his option?
Did Profar pick up his option? We're going with Jerickson Profar. He is a free agent.
I think Chris knows.
Peralta.
Yeah.
Do you have I mean,
Yeah,
there's
can I
two
get a first
Peraltas.
name?
Wandy?
There we go.
Sorry
Peralta.
about that. Sorry about that.
Almost said David. You almost got me on that.
Tiebreaker.
Sneaky.
Tiebreaker.
You know who we're going with today?
Oh, you got a name, huh?
Yeah, Ashton Genty.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go with him. I guess that means I need to get a contestant on.
You played this game
Let's
before,
go,
right?
Yes. This is a very strange Monday. Cameron, hello.
What's up, Cam?
Chris, how old are you?
I'm not saying.
He's gonna lie. He's gonna lie. We all know that.
42.
I can't trust anything that Chris says anymore.
I just had my 35th wedding anniversary, so that'll give you a little idea at least.
Maybe.
Not really. No one knows when you got married or what.
Not saying.
All right. Do you know how the tiebreaker works?
Yes.
All right.
All right, good. I don't feel like explaining it today because I'll probably get it wrong. So, Chris?
Yeah.
How many rushing yards does he have in his career?
In his career?
Yes.
What year is he? A senior?
He looks to be his third year.
Third year. He's got about 4,219.
4,219. Is the actual answer higher or lower than that?
Oh, man, what college team does this guy play for?
Boise State.
Boise State.
It's the Heisman Trophy front runner, or one of them.
Higher or lower?
I'll go higher.
He says higher. No, it's not.
Unfortunately not.
Apparently not.
3,693 rushing yards.
Okay.
All right, let's go to our next contestant. I don't know. No one's called this number before. It just says Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hey, it's good. It's actually Ernie.
Hey, Ernie. What's going on?
Hi, Ernie.
Have you ever played the tiebreaker, Ernie?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I wanted him to have to explain it.
No, no one wants that right now. Are you
I have
kidding me?
forgotten.
Chris.
Uh-huh.
How many catches does he have in his career?
3. The other. Oh man, I'm trying to get semi close. Got about 25 this year. I'm gonna say 60.
60 career catches for Ashton Genty. Is the actual number higher or lower?
I'm going to say lower.
Lower. Wow. He has 71 catches. Really interesting. Had 43 catches his second year and back to 14 catches now.
Well, I mean, he's running.
Yeah, he's
for
running wild
800
right now.
yards.
He's averaging 190.6 yards rushing a game.
That's why they're not throwing it to him.
The Aztecs held him well under his average the other night.
I just want to point the clock out to
I
you.
think it's going to be a stalemate. What do you guys think? One more? Chris? if
One
you see-
more.
Okay. You choose a number 1 through 6.
6.
Yeah, go to that one.
Great. It's Butler Chemical.
Yeah. Hey, Butler.
Who is this?
How's it going, guys?
Who is?
Chad.
Chad.
Hi, Chad.
All right,
How you
Chad.
doing,
I'm going to
Chad?
put you in the computer as
Pretty
Chad.
good, guys. Pretty good.
All right. Have you ever played the tiebreaker before?
I've never played. I'm a first-time player, even though that doesn't count for this. But
Yes.
I know.
I like that
know
you're
how to
paying
play.
attention, Chad.
Yes,
that
you
you
are
knew
paying.
that.
You're
Good
paying
job.
a really good attention. Keep that for next time, Chris. How many?
Broken tackles.
How many total touchdowns in his Boise State
Okay.
career?
Oh,
That's
a good
manageable.
one. 26.
6. All right, Chad, is the actual answer higher or lower?
26.
I'm gonna go lower.
I'm sorry,
Nobody got it
Chad.
today.
He had 47 touchdowns.
Wow, I wasn't even close.
He's got 20 rushing touchdowns
this year. Oh my goodness gracious!
All right,
All right,
stalemate.
tomorrow we'll give 2 tickets away or 4 tickets away, or either that or Scraby, you win the Tom Segura tickets.
No,
Just
I
call
can't.
your
It's
buddy
illegal.
Alex and you can take him.
It's illegal for me to win the tickets.
I know. All right, we'll take a break, check some traffic, come back to wrap up this hell of a show in just a moment.
From the 97.3 The
the end. We're trying to get the Jason Kelce soundbite for you. I don't know if we're going to have time to do it as the show quickly comes to an end here.
Yeah, it's tough.
We talked all about all this stuff all show long if you missed it.
We did, and he...
You want to play a little bit of it?
Yeah,
I
go
won't
ahead.
put it up on the screen. Here he is on Monday Night Countdown.
Listen, I think everybody's seen on social media everything that took place this week. That's what listen, I'm not happy with anything that took place. I'm not proud of it. And, in a heated moment, I chose to greet hate with hate. And I just don't think that that's a productive thing. I really don't. I don't think that, it leads to discourse, and it's the right way to go about things. And in that moment, I fell down to a level that I shouldn't have. So I think the bottom line is, I want to live my life. I try to live my life by the golden rule. That's what I've always been taught. I try to treat people with common decency and respect, and I'm going to keep doing that moving forward. Even though I fell short this week, I'm going to do that moving forward and continue to do that. So,
listen, this is why Jason Kelce is liked by so many. But respect is given where
that person who got treated badly did not deserve
you earned
Jason
respect.
Kelce to respect them back.
He walked in the door disrespecting.
That's my issue.
So,
with all that.
I commend him for doing the right thing and saying the right things, but I would not have judged him the other way if he had decided to say nothing at this point. I
would
really
have been
would.
fine with it as well, Tony. Real quick, tonight is the San Diego State Aztec women's basketball.
Let's go, ladies.
Let's go.
So if you're out and about looking for I think if for less than $10, you can sit almost courtside, watch some great college basketball.
That's not bad at all.
Season opener at Viejas, 6 o'clock tonight. If you're looking for something to do, I'll be over there.
You're going to be on the call.
I'll be there, yeah. So that's that.
All right.
Back at it again tomorrow, full 4 hours. Have a good night.